Bearer pulls up next to you. Challenging. You're even. But two objects cannot occupy the same point in space at the same moment in time. Bearer doesn't lift. The corner races at you. You have perhaps a crisis of identity. Am I a sportsman or a competitor? How will the French think of me if I run Bearer into a tree? You lift, he passes. He won, you lost.
We're back with Adam Driver, everybody. That was a clip from Ferrari. I feel like when I was a kid and like went through an era where I was obsessed with things like Ferraris and cars, it never connected with me that, of course, Ferrari was somebody's last name who just like had the idea to make cars like this. Did you know much about Enzo Ferrari before you started doing this?
No. Oddly, my first, I think in retrospect, looking back, that my first intro to Ferraris was from Michael's Miami Vice, because my dad was a big Miami Vice fan. Of course, he has the Ferrari in that. That was, he blew up. And that was kind of his intro to Enzo at the time. They had I think a phone correspondence. They may have met one time, but they blew up a replica car, and he's like, why don't you have the real thing? So anyway, but I knew of them as drivable works of art. But, you know, growing up in Indiana, there was, or just anywhere, they were out of my price range.
Right.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like go out to the main road and see like, let's see if we see a Ferrari today.
Yeah. Show me the 355.
Yeah.
See what
Did you, and I did not realize that he basically, he wanted to race cars and he only sold them to sort of fund the racing.
Yeah, he was a racer first, and at this point that we find him in 1957, in this 3-month period, he was going bankrupt because he was more interested in racing cars and kind of almost resented the customer part of being, you know, running a car company. And, you know, was spending all of his money on that and not so much commercial vehicles. And also the game was changing. TV was becoming more part of racing. So he was more incentivized to, you know, you win on Sunday, you sell cars on Monday.
Must not have been a terrible place. Obviously, when you travel for a film and you're away from your family, not ideal, but being in Italy must have been outstanding.
Yeah, being away anywhere without my family is outstanding, but especially with Italy. Actually, my family was with me on this
good.
one,
All
so
right, great.
It was
win-win or win-lose.
Yeah, everyone's like, you do a lot of movies in Italian, right? Isn't it obvious?
Yeah. That's very smart. Even the clip we showed, one of many scenes at a dinner table, which both feels very Italian.
Yeah.
And I would imagine they want to get the authenticity of the food when you're doing those dinner table scenes.
Oh, I didn't think about that. But yeah,
like if there was like just like a big thing of Wonder Bread, you'd be like, what are they doing?
Yeah. I would know that something is wrong.
Yeah.
But Michael is very, a food aside, he is relentless about authenticity in his films. In this film, the barbershop where he goes is the barbershop he went to. The guy who's cutting my hair is the grandson of the guy who actually cut Enzo's hair. You know, he brought in replica, or the real Maseratis and some Testarossa. They would do scans of the ones that were historical vehicles and duplicate them. The ones that he did bring in that were like $70 million Ferraris, he would attach 7 mics to them and drive them in tunnels because you can't replicate the sound. That has to be in the place, you know. He's relentless. So I have no doubt that Wonder Bread was not
It'd be really funny if they were like, we have to use Wonder Bread because you made us drive a $70 million car.
Right.
We don't have money left for good bread, Michael. It's a wonderful film. I should know the rest of the cast is great as well. And it's always such a delight to see you, Adam. Thanks for coming back. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays to you.
Adam Driver, Ferrari. Theaters on Christmas Day. Stick around. We'll be right back with Gary Goldman.